DSA running to try to make New York City better or provide affordability. Everything that these people are doing, these Marxist groups, this is just a front, a cover up of what's really happening, which is a takeover of our government. They have partnered with the extreme radical Muslim groups like the Muslim Brotherhood, CAIR, and all these radical groups, and formed a coalition to try to take over, these blue cities and states. This is not about helping us, either one of us. This is about fulfilling an agenda, which is a mass takeover. It is an infiltration of our government at all levels, okay? You have foreigners who hate America, and they want to do to us what was done to them, all right? And the only way you can stop this is if President Trump and his administration start denaturalizing and deporting these people. They need to go back. They do not represent American values, nor do they want to be a part of this amazing country. We can't have people coming into this country screaming that they hate us, and they're screaming, death to America and how much they hate Americans. Unacceptable. Because once they come into the government and take over, where does that leave Americans? We're going to be effed. We're going to be screwed. There is a takeover happening, and President Trump, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Secretary Kristi Noem, Tom Honan, you all need to be on top of this. And this is happening.
She's right. And I appreciate you guys pulling up today. I want to share this clip with you from the Democratic Socialists of America, and then we'll let the video continue to go, and I'll give my thoughts shortly afterwards. But I want you to get an understanding of who these people are and what their mission is.
That the Democratic Socialists of America hate the Democratic Party.
I think we're all on the same page that we hate the Democratic Party.
The Democratic Party is not really our friend. It isn't.
So why are the DSA such major players in the Democratic Party? This odd relationship can be understood with the cuckoo analogy. In nature, the cuckoo survives by trickery. It lays its egg in another bird's nest. The unsuspecting parents raise the imposter as their own until the cuckoo grows strong enough to push the true chicks out. The DSA is the cuckoo inside the Democratic Party.
DSA is not the Democratic Party.
We must separate ourselves from the toxic Democratic Party.
We can put forward a clear, aggressive, principled strategy that pushes back against the Democratic leadership and the Democratic Party as a whole.
DSA candidates run as Democrats in safe blue districts. They slip through low turnout primaries. And once inside, they use the Democratic label as camouflage while advancing an extremist anti-American agenda far beyond the party's mainstream.
I don't agree with the Democratic Party, but it's a great tool.
The Democratic is a tool that we use.
Once in office, DSA candidates take orders from DSA's internal enforcers and working groups. City halls and state houses start running as socialist machines controlled by the organization, not the Democratic Party, and certainly not voters.
They have to have a connection with DSA's internal politics, and they have to be committed to the eventual goal of building a separate entity from the Democrats.
DSA are revolutionaries, and the Democrats are their first victims. And in city after city, DSA victories prove their plan works.
I think that the model that we used in New York is 100% replicatable.
And just like the cuckoo, once the DSA grows strong, it pushes the true Democrats out, hollowing the party from within,
building towards political independence and tearing apart the Democratic Party.
The DSA is not here to strengthen the Democratic Party. It is here to consume it.
We're not here to make the Democrats a little bit better. We're here to actually enact socialism. And socialism is not just better capitalism. It's overthrowing the entire capitalist state.
It's our duty, DSA, to cultivate this power.
The cuckoo is in the nest, and New York City is poised to elect not a Democrat, but Zohran Mamdani, an extremist within the DSA.
We understand that winning an election is not an end. It is a means to an end.
The most important thing that we can do is take that empire down from within.
Ultimately to overthrow our own empire.
We need a movement that can drive a snake through the heart of empire.
We need to orient ourselves towards insurrection.
Yeah, these people aren't playing. They're playing the long game. They have a strategy. They are implementing that strategy, and they're doing it at a rapid rate. A rapid rate. Let's keep going. A few more videos to share with you guys.
You just made a major move. It's a bigger move than Letitia James. And you're going after Zohran Mamdani, Mamkami. How are you going after him?
Zohran Mamdani is a racist. He hates white people, and he has officially put on his campaign website, and now being the mayor-elect, he's talking about taxing white New Yorkers at a higher rate than other people simply for the color of their skin. The only problem with that is there's something called the Civil Rights Act, and there's also something called the 14th Amendment, which guarantees equal protection under the law for all Americans. And so this racist, this anti-white racist is going to feel the constitutional long arm of the law come back and slap him now and try to see how he can run from his own statements he's made and the plans he's planning to enact as mayor of New York City. This is ridiculous. It's really egregious. And every New Yorker, every white New Yorker that voted for him, what were you guys thinking? How could you do that?
Yeah, Zohran literally said, I'm going to want to tax white people, right? We're going to pay for these social programs, all this free handout garbage with the money of white people.
And realize there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed.
It's ridiculous, right? It's going to be the white neighborhoods he goes after to fund all these programs. So what exactly did you do today?
Well, we've actually served Zohran Mamdani this $100 million lawsuit. My organization, Federal Watchdog, has filed this in the Southern District of New York. And it's crazy because in his own acceptance speech, he thanked, Yemenis bodega owners and Uzbek nurses and all these immigrants, but he never mentioned the white New Yorkers that built New York City, the Irish, the Polish, the Italians, the Jewish people who are the backbone of New York City. And he has specifically said he's going to steal the wealth out of those neighborhoods and give it to all the EBT card holding, all the social program and social welfare holding, Black, Spanish, Muslim New Yorkers that unfortunately do not go to work every day, but rely upon these socialistic, opportunistic programs. And this is heinous. This is exactly how you get a massive exodus out of New York City. I can't believe we're living in days where the people, the white Americans that built this great city of New York, are now becoming second-class citizens. It almost seems like like a new civil rights movement. White New Yorkers are now forced to sit on the back of the bus. And this is kind of like a Rosa Parks scenario again, where white New Yorkers being discriminated against have to stand up for themselves and demand justice.
This is pretty crazy. And the fact that he put it on a website, but people fell asleep at the wheel. People don't understand that the DSA, I can't even say that they're coming. They're here. And the people that they are putting their money behind are radical, and they're becoming more and more radical. Check out this clip from Liz Wheeler.
Omar Fattah is a DSA, a Democrat Socialist of America candidate, meaning he's using socialism and Marxism and communism as his vehicle, not just to undermine the Democratic Party, which they want to do, but to undermine our country, to overthrow the American empire. And Ilhan Omar endorsed him and campaigned for him and defended him despite his shady background. Omar Fattah is not just a DSA candidate, which is a disqualifier in and of itself. He doesn't just have ties to a radical imam who is associated with jihadist ideology. He's not just been defended by an unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terror financing case in our country. All disqualifiers in isolation. He also has an extremely shady background. He was caught engaging in shady electioneering behavior, whether it was campaign finance violations or defense of a financially fraudulent scheme to get money from the federal government during COVID in the name of helping immigrants, but actually it was just a money laundering operation. This is Omar Fattah. And this is one of those moments that I have been ruminating about for the last 2-3 weeks. This is one of those plots that's happening before our very eyes that hasn't yet fully come to fruition. But 20 years from now, we're going to sit back and we're going to wonder, how did all of our cities become overtaken by Islamists? How did we turn into London? You look at what Sadiq Khan has done to London. You look at the Islamification of Britain right now. It's about to happen here. Zohran Mamdani should be the wake-up call.
Should be, but he's not. Should be. We're trying to make him that. But unfortunately, you have a lot of people on that side of things, man, that they either have their head in the sand or they're complicit. They want to see the America that we know and love. They want to see it go away for something that they don't even know, for an agenda, for a policy, for an ideology that hasn't worked anywhere. We know socialism isn't the wave, and we know it hasn't worked, but for whatever reason, these people believe that it can. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of these people are brainwashed from these college campuses, and college campuses across the country have told young people that socialism can work. You know, it's just never been implemented properly, and we're the ones to do it. It's sad, man.
Going to leave entirely, but you're definitely not going to add any more restaurants here under this new leadership. Why do you take such issue with the new mayor?
Currently, we had 3 leases ready to sign in October. Upper West Side, Upper East Side, and West Side Midtown, to expand Diner 24, because we were the first to bring back the 24-hour diner post-COVID. Because remember, all of them closed, and we brought back the 24-hour diner, and it really was such a success. We wanted to open 4 altogether just in the Manhattan area. But, you know, when I start hearing uncertainty and I start hearing, defund the police and a lot of uncertainty in the small business areas of what I'm hearing this upcoming mayor campaigning on, we like clarity. We don't like guessing. So right now we're just like a sit back and wait and see if he can pass some of these things that he campaigned on, because we're not going to open businesses in that climate.
So if not in New York City, where else might you open more business?
Well, we have 2 diner leases ready to go in Miami, where I am right now. And you know, we have plenty of capital to expand because the business is doing so well, and I believe there's a need for a 24-hour diner. But when you get to that $20 price point, you know, people don't, the politicians don't understand it because they never ran a lemonade stand. But when you raise minimum wage to $30, you know, at that point, that $12 hamburger becomes $22.
Yep.
And it's not going to work when you're in the fast casual business where the average ticket is $15 to $24 a person. That's basically a nail in the coffin. You're out of business. And all I say to the mayor, upcoming mayor, is, you know, and actually he's quite impressive for a 33-year-old, but he's never run a business. He's never run a small business. And to me, I think he needs to open the doors for dialogue or debate with small business owners like myself and other restaurateurs and other small business owners to open dialogues. I think the best thing for all of us is a better New York City. And I just think his policies, his Democrat socialistic policies, do not work for.
No, they don't work. And they are a death knell for small business. And he's absolutely right. When you start talking about small business having to raise their unemployment to $20 to $30 an hour, people got to understand that the number one expense for every business out there is their labor cost. And when you have a small business and you raise it up in that manner, you put small businesses out of business. Now, the larger companies, they can make it because they can do it. They can get the money off of quantity. But small business, they just can't afford this. You see what happened in out in California, where they raised, minimum wage for fast food workers. And you see what you guys saw what happened, how many people got fired, how many people were laid off, how many the prices, at these businesses had to go up because they had to pay for the workforce. I mean, it's crazy. It just doesn't make sense. I don't think these people think about the ramifications, of their actions or, of these new policies. And they just don't think about it. And when you've never ran a business before, when you don't know much about, how to own, operate, you don't really understand the P&Ls and things of that nature, what it takes to actually stay in business, just to break even. And what we do know is that people don't start businesses to break even. They actually start businesses to earn a solid living and to make a profit. But you have politicians like this individual and a few others that we're going to showcase here in a second that have never even had a job before. Like, if you've never actually had a job, how in the world are you going to be placed in a position to run a city, a major city at that? The only thing that could happen is that you run this thing into the ground and, hey, we see it. And that's why you have people like this guy here, restaurateurs, other small business owners, investors that are saying, you know what, we're going to hold off on New York City right now. It's just, we just can't afford to take that risk. The risk is entirely too high when you got a wild card like this guy in charge of things.
I had this friend, skinny, in high school, could dislocate his shoulder and reach up around into the vending machine and steal chips.
That's awesome.
We called him Slim Jim. Baby boomers will eventually pass away, and when they do, they'll all do it at the same time, and then millions and millions of homes will become available like that. We also need to get rates down. And you do that because AI and the labor market's softening, and you have all these illegals that are going to get deported, so you drop rates and you can get people to buy. You also have a lot of rich liberals that live in these rich coastal cities that prevent property development because it keeps their properties higher priced. So once you start cutting that red tape, you can build more housing and then people can get in. The places with the highest rent, Boston, New York City, and San Francisco. It's because it's all these young kids that just graduate from college. They want to go to the city and find love and find a great job, and they can't because the migrants have the homes and the boomers are sitting on them and they won't let anybody build. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's a major problem. Socialism is just, it's not a good thing, man. It's not a good look. Check this lady out here.
You've heard of sleepless in Seattle. How about socialist in Seattle? A self-described socialist just elected mayor of that fine city. Well, once fine city. Let me be clear. She's playing all the hits: city-run grocery stores, community-owned housing, sweeping tax hikes. And back to the other coast, New York City's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani huddling with Senator Elizabeth Warren to map out his tax the rich revolution. Steve Forbes, I saw a video of Elizabeth Warren a couple of days ago that she was talking about billionaires need to pay more because they did not, this is borrowing from Barack Obama, they did not build their businesses on the roads. They built their businesses on the roads and infrastructure that we all paid for, which is just insanity.
Well, where did the resources come from for those roads? Private sector.
Right, exactly. But what about, I think Elizabeth Warren, though, with Mamdani, she's just trying to kind of get a glow up, so to speak, from Mamdani. That she's a loser and old, and he's young and a new winner, and she's trying to soak up some attention.
Well, and rightly so. You look at the Democrats; they're like a nursing home of the leadership in Congress, except in the House. And but in terms of ideas, they're the retrogrades. They are the regressives, not the progressives. And where has socialism worked? I mean, Cuba in New York, North Korea in Seattle, not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because it's never worked. And I think this dude's right. They're not the progressive. They're the regressive. They're the group of people that are looking at old ideas and they're trying to rehash old ideas, hoping that they will work this time. But we know that they won't. We know this. And let's look at this kooky creature out of Idaho running for governor. Look at this. These are the kind of people that are coming out of the woodworks running for major offices now.
And I'm running for governor of Idaho in 2026 as an independent socialist candidate. I'm running as an independent socialist. I'm also running as a proud member of Democratic Socialists of America. I'm a member of the Southern Idaho DSA chapter, but I've also been endorsed by the chapters in Boise and the Idaho Falls and Pocatello area. It's important to me to talk about what I am because I think it's important to take that name back for ourselves. People say socialist like it's just automatically a bad word, and the reality is it does have a meaning. Look at my platform, take a look at what I'm running for. Yes, it's socialism, but these are the kinds of policies that I think most Idahoans agree we need right now.
Yeah, these are the kind of people that the Democratic Socialists of America are putting money behind. And the crazy thing is that people like this are winning. They're winning. Y'all see who the new mayor-elect is out in Seattle. Y'all know who the mayor-elect is in New York City. These people are in the House. They're in the Senate. They're in a lot of, states, they're state representatives, they're state delegates and things of that nature all around the country, man. These people are here. Sheesh.
The Democrats once again proved that the future of the Democratic Party is socialism. Meet Katie Wilson, Seattle's new mayor. She's basically the Mamdani of Seattle. She believes in defund the police. She believes in high taxes for the wealthy to create social housing. She is a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist who is going to be in charge of one of our largest cities' budgets while she and her husband live in a one-bedroom apartment. She is 43 years old and has held the following jobs: a barista, a lab technician, a laborer and boatyard worker, an apartment manager, a legal assistant, and a baker. And it came out that her parents still pay some of her bills. Her parents are progressive professors. Imagine that. And here's the thing, socialism has never worked and will never work. It's a nice promise, but the reality of it is a different story. Look at Cuba, Venezuela, the Soviet Union. Every single example of socialism has left the people poorer and the ruling class richer. Everyone is equally miserable under socialism. So you want equality? Yeah, it's equal misery. Because if a government can feed you, a government can starve you. Socialism takes the power from the people and gives it to the government. And when has the government done anything with less corruption than private entities? Governments don't get a judgment of the free market, which the people get. That's why a free market's important. Imagine a basketball team where everyone gets the same playing time, the same points credited to their stats, and the same share of the prize money, regardless of how good they are, how much extra hours they put into practice, how much they hustle, or how much they score. The star players, the hard workers, they'd get frustrated. They'd go, why am I busting my ass if Joe Schmo over here, who's not working, doesn't want to be here, is miserable, and literally doesn't do anything, is getting the same credit that I'm getting? The lazy players, Joe Schmo, is going to go, why would I run drills? Why would I get better if I'm still going to get paid and praised? Say the coach is the one enforcing this equality like the government would be. Well, the team starts losing games, and guess what? Fans, society, stop showing up. Sponsors bail, and the whole thing collapses. Socialism fails for the same reason. It kills incentives to work hard. And everyone ends up losing, except somehow, always the ruling class. I guarantee you Katie Wilson will get wealthy while she makes everyone else in Seattle miserable. Her quality of life will increase while everyone else's quality of life will decrease.
Absolutely. And it happens time and time and time again. I cannot believe they voted that lady in out there. Her and her husband live in a one-bedroom apartment, and her parents are still subsidizing her bills. This is a 40-plus-year-old woman. This is crazy. These are the kind of people that are winning offices in our country right now. It's crazy. Makes absolutely no sense. Seriously, no sense. But I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the